Welcome to a comic book look. Issue 33?
34.
34, 33. I will put it up.
34 or 35-ish. I think it might be 35. Because 33, I think, was villains. 34 was heroes.
Oh, see, I've been gone.
I think so.
You know, we tricked you guys last time. We shot the last 2 episodes in one sitting.
We haven't filmed in actually quite a while.
And so it's been a while. I went on a cruise, and it was amazing. And we are back ready to rock it and talk about comics. This is our weekly TV show on comic books, anything relating to comic books, literally anything. And so we'd like to find what comics can be about anything. Exactly. So we like to bring that anything into comics, and we always do it around the holidays, hence our dressed up. Mm-hmm. We are taping on the day before St. Patrick's Day, and we are ready for our St. Patrick's Day show, and that's going to be our theme today when it comes to a comic book look.
That is what is up. So, how do we tie this glorious festivity day? What? How do we tie these festivities into comic books? Characters with the Irish heritage, and there are quite a few of them actually. I did a little bit of homework and actually made an emergency trip to the comic book store to get familiar with one of them.
All right.
So I did a little research and got a $3 discount on back issues. Because it was for academic purposes, so
nice.
My dad was with me for that one. He was like, "You're a dork."
That's great.
So, yeah, I got a kick out of that. So, anyways, yep.
Here we go.
Here we go.
All right. Well, I think there's when John said that, I was like, can we do a whole episode on St. Patrick's Day or related to Irish characters? And I think we could do okay. Yeah. John definitely says we can do it. I didn't do a whole lot of research. I do have an Irish background. My grandma and grandpa were both from Ireland, and so we do celebrate different Irish cultures and heritage like that. And I come from an Irish Catholic family, and we're from the Midwest. My grandma and grandpa had 15 kids, so I have 74 first cousins. So it's like the biggest family that you could possibly imagine, all super excited to be Irish. So St. Patrick's Day is usually an awesome party drunk fest for all of us, but we all have a really good time and we're safe about it. I got myself a green beer tonight, just, preparing for tomorrow to switch into the Guinness. And then I'll be dominating all week long. And I did say before, Locus Mortis always gives us shit every single episode, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's part of his thing. It's
He's a good guy, though.
Yeah, oh yeah, we love him. He does great articles on Inveterate Media Junkies website as well, and he is, I'm pretty sure, from Ireland. So I mean, I'm sure he gets a good kick out of us Americans doing our best at being Irish, and but the one character I think that everybody thinks of first, at least like when I talked about it at work, is Banshee, right?
Yep.
I think so. I mean, he's, originally around the X-Men right away. He was kind of a character they didn't know if he was good or bad. Joined the X-Men, has moved on, has been around, has had a kid that played a huge part as well in the Mutant Society, and is a sweet character. I don't know, you want to tell us some more about Banshee?
Yeah, basically. He started out, just kind of... one of the X-Men characters. The character development for him was interesting just to watch him on the X-Men team. I became a little bit more intrigued when he took on that leadership role alongside Emma Frost to teach Generation X, which was, kind of when they started doing the young teams, so I thought that was just kind of a cool twist in things. And I guess I had never really seen him in a leadership role like that, so sure. I thought that was, kind of fascinating. Of course, you got the X-Men 90s cartoons, which I worship.
Yeah.
It's a good,
awesome.
It's a fun show, and it's always fun to go back because I'm always just picking out a new character, like, no way, that person was in there. Awesome. So Banshee was in there a few times.
Yeah, he was. I remember those episodes.
Gosh. And then, of course, for those of you that are just starting to get familiar with the comic industry, X-Men First Class has Banshee in it as well, a younger interpretation of him. Maybe not my favorite, but... He was so on the big screen. Yep.
Exactly. It's so cool that they added him there and, showing what he can kind of do with his voice powers, just the sonic scream.
Doing that flight thing, rocking on the spiral thing. Yeah.
So I mean, it was still cool to see Banshee, and that they chose Banshee. But he came from the original, run of X-Men before it was famous. You know, the original Jack, Kirby and Stan Lee run. So,
Yeah.
Yep, it's exciting stuff.
Totally. So I guess spinning off directly from him, of course, we got Teresa, Siren,
Yep.
popular member of X-Force. Again, she took on a leadership role as well until they battled the New Hellions. And I think I talked about this a few issues ago. They battled this group called the New Hellions, and Feral came out of nowhere and scratched her throat, and powers were gone for quite a few episodes. She was actually voiceless, so entered a deep depression kind of a stage. Some of the darker times for X-Force. I was actually kind of bummed, and I'm reading this when I'm like, 13 or 14 years old, like, oh no, sorry. So one cover has her all morbid by like the Bay or something without a voice, so that was kind of a bummer.
Probably written by Scott Lobdell. I remember he
man.
used to bring it all emotional back in the 90s.
She is rocking it out right now in X Factor. Right? Yeah. No,
I don't think so. She's on the X Factor right now.
where is she at right now? No, I thought she was.
Oh, maybe she is. I haven't read the last probably 5 issues. So
I haven't. Guys, I haven't read it in like a month, and I'm so out of tune right now with that series, and it's not its fault. I've been reading so many other things. Lock and Key, I finished 2 and 3, the trades,
Awesome.
So I've just been all over the board with that. I do think actually she's.
Yeah, well, I
rocking
mean,
it with
I
that
think
side.
now as much as we have seen Siren now, she is, I feel like much more of a prominent character than Banshee is even.
Yeah.
I mean, Banshee was original, was around, but I mean, Siren's is still like I feel like an active member of the X-Men, where Banshee is an older character who I feel is probably living in Ireland somewhere, or I don't know, maybe he's dead, who knows. Yeah, well, who knows, when it comes to the X-Men.
Yeah. Everyone's gonna come back.
And everyone's going to come back and you never know who's dead or alive or what.
While we're on the topic of Irish characters with sonic powers, over in DC Universe we have...
Yeah, the Screaming Banshee or whatever her name is.
Black Canary.
Oh, Black Canary. Well, there's a different Banshee over in the...
Oh, yeah, yep.
And that's what I always thought that...
Banshee.
She's like just called the Banshee as well, and I always was like, kind of a ripoff. Or I wouldn't know which one came first, like who stole the Banshee name.
Yeah.
And then they both get to use it.
Yeah.
It must be spelled different. It has to be in order for it to be copyrighted, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because they're all over like character names. But when we were looking, I've always, been like, oh, she's the Banshee, and she's an Irish character as well. So
Yeah.
don't know much about her, seen her around, she's been in some famous stories, so I guess I've seen her a couple times, but.
Yeah. Black Canary herself, she's kind of a kick-ass character. She's part of the Birds of Prey series, which I like because of Poison Ivy, who also happens to sport greenwear.
Yeah, exactly. It's
I
all
don't know
about
how
the green.
Irish she is, though. But
Yeah, who knows?
she's pretty Irish to me. So.
She's a redhead too, when she wasn't, so it's kind of an Irish trait.
Traits.
But yeah, I didn't even know Black Canary was Irish.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I mean, yeah, Black Canary's awesome. The history that she has with Green Arrow and just being a tough female in the DC universe. It's I do like Black Canary, and I like that she's always able to take force of her own life and not treated as an underdog or anything. She's been around the block, and she knows how to handle herself in a lot of situations. And so yeah, Black Canary's a sweet character, and didn't even know she's Irish.
Yeah. So that was definitely an interesting one. Completely oddball. I did a ton of research, so I feel like I'm just throwing flashcards everywhere.
Let's do it. Just throw them.
The 2099 universe. Spider-Man 2099, Miguel O'Hara. He's Mexican, Irish, and very interesting character. I read some of it. Gabe had some that I read, and then I also read somewhere like he came to the current Marvel land and helped the real Spider-Man battle Venom or something like that. You know how they do all this.
Yeah, Marvel 2099. I haven't read any of those.
You're
just
missing out.
I'm glad I just skipped over those. I have no desire to read them, but that's fine. You always kind of bring them up. They must have resonated with you a little bit.
Little tidbits here and there, but definitely.
Totally. I was coming across characters too. I didn't even remember if it's in DC or Marvel, but there's just a guy named Shamrock, and he has like the most standard superhero costume. He has like a shamrock on his head, and I've never heard of him before, but I just love that. I'm sure he's like from the 70s when they were just throwing out characters like crazy, and somebody made Shamrock be their character.
Well, that was the character that took me to the comic book store today.
No
And
way!
there's a couple of no ways in my hand here. So I have claimed to have the whole run of the original Alpha Flight 1 through 130, whatever the fuck. And I didn't have the one issue that Shamrock was in, which was Alpha Flight 108. So I called the store up and I'm like, "Do you got it?" And they're like, "Oh yeah." And I was like, "Oh my god, put it in back immediately."
Put it back immediately. Put it back immediately. Somebody's gonna be coming to get it.
So to answer your question, 92.
Oh my
was
god,
the
that
cameo
is
of this.
so awesome, dude.
But oh, what's the other thing? Here's one. This is the other one. One of the earlier cameos of Shamrock. Contest of the Champions, Marvel Superhero Contest of the Champions, where it's the Unknown versus Death or something, like two cosmic beings. Pick all the superheroes, so Shamrock was in that as well. Shamrock is actually Molly Fitzgerald, an Irish female who the souls of the dead surround her and bring her good luck, but give her enemies good luck. It's a 20-foot sphere around her of luck, pretty much. So the premise of the character is just that. Turns out that in later comics, she's actually depicted as overweight. She retired from superheroism and decided to be a hairdresser.
Oh, well, there we go. I'm glad that you... That
awesome?
is so funny that you picked these. I had no idea that.
I had to get familiar. I was like, I'm doing some research.
And World Tour 1992 Alpha Flight. This stop, Europe. I don't know if you've heard news. It's not around Alpha Flight, but it is game-breaking news. And so we're just going to do flashing news break. That revolves John and Thunderbolts.
Oh, they're canceling it.
Thunderbolts is, I heard the rumor, I haven't confirmed, but I'm pretty sure this is what's happening. Thunderbolts is done.
Why?
They are changing in the book, the same creators, going to be the same characters, and they're going to be calling it Dark Avengers.
You're kidding me.
Not kidding.
Where'd you hear that?
On the internet today.
What?
Yeah, so they're
Look at that.
So they're canceling Thunderbolts,
which is my favorite.
which is unreal because it's been around for so long,
Yeah.
and it shouldn't be canceled. In my eyes, I love the way it's going right now, and I guess Jeff Parker's still going to be there, but Marvel, I feel like, is one more way that they can get an Avengers book out there. But that's fine. I know John has to be torn right now because he loves Thunderbolts, but he loves Dark Avengers.
Yeah.
Do you not?
Yeah, check this out. I got this, I got a lot of goodies today. But I picked up this Avengers cover because I thought it was like the next Dark Avengers one, but it actually isn't. So it has actually nothing to do with the Dark Avengers. I was flipping through it and I'm like, well, that sucks. There's a little
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
It's just a regular
It's a sweet
Bendis
cover.
Avengers.
Yeah. So it's a sweet cover and all, but it's just more of the politics behind it again, and you know how I feel about that. Also a newsbreaker. What's up with the DC logo?
That's the new logo. I don't know if it's been in the news for a little while. They trademarked it.
Do you like
It's
it?
been- yeah. I think it's just doing fresh. You got to keep changing. I like when companies change.
Getting used to the other one.
But you know exactly. I mean, that's what you're a comic fan. You know what comic fans hate? Change. Simple as that. They hate
Agreed.
change. Everybody argues and cries about wanting change, but they hate it. And so, you know what? Fine. I like that DC logo. Try something new. Let's do some new things and.
Like,
You know, whatever. I did finish all the new 52, 1 through 5,
Were they amazing?
of all 52 titles. How many comics is that? Like 270 titles, I think?
Yeah.
Or 260, I think?
You did your research.
260 books I did for that bitch, and damn, dude, that some of them were like pulling teeth.
Yeah.
You know, I was so excited for the new DC 52, and not as good as I thought, but we'll have a whole episode on it in a couple weeks, so...
DC-tacular.
DC-tacular. Look forward to that. Bam, end of news break. No more talking about Dark Avengers or Thunderbolts.
But I am going to research the hell out of that.
No, it's happening. But Jeff Parker's staying on board, so I feel like, I'm going to be buying Dark Avengers, and that pisses me off.
Dude, that makes me so happy. Wow. Happy St. Patty's Day, John.
Yeah.
Yes.
But anyway, my favorite Irish character. Let's go to my favorite.
Okay.
My very favorite, when I said to John, you know, well, there's at least one character that's extremely cool, and then you gotta hate, but then, you know, still okay, and then you really hate him again, but Cassidy from Preacher. I mean, he is the Irish vampire that everybody loves to hate, always fucks things up, but always is, you know, you want to root for him, and it's just some of the greatest character work that an Irish writer wrote, and that is Garth Ennis. Garth Ennis is still currently writing a lot of books and putting things out and making new things over at Dynamite, and still kind of ending with The Boys, which ended up a lot of people not liking and dropping early because it was just kind of like commentary towards superheroes, whereas now really been just turned into this great war machine of, looking at power and, corruption and, what real power can do to people and stuff like that. It's The Boys is definitely something not for the weak-hearted, but or the weak, stomached either, but something that everybody should check out from the Irish creator. But Cassidy, Preacher, I've talked about Preacher before, and it's just one of the greatest, Finite series that has been in comics, and, such a quintessential Vertigo series, and Cassidy, huge part of the book, super Irish.
Super awesome.
Super awesome, yeah.
I read on one website, and I don't know what your take on it is, Captain America.
He's an Irishman?
Has a little descent from his parents.
I believe that, but he's blonde-haired, blue-eyed, so, that's a little odd, but, I could totally see that.
Yeah.
Sure, why not? There's a lot of, everybody was coming over from, Ireland.
Yeah.
So there's just a huge, tons of people with Irish descent in America. Yeah. And I'm sure that's just part of America. There was some creator that was probably Irish, and he wrote some into Captain America.
Yeah, no, it's just like, that's cool.
Hell yeah. Who else? You got any other ones?
That's about it out of me, man. Just kind of,
Hell yeah,
everyone thinks of Banshee, though.
Yeah, of course. You're going to come with Banshee.
They were trying to tell me he was Scottish at the comic book shop, so I just went around to all the different wikis and making sure, because I don't want to look like a big jerk on St. Paddy's Day,
Yep.
But, I don't know. I mean, him, Black Tom Cassidy, obviously, his brother. Yellow brother.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, the Cassidy family's all Irish. There's another group. So yeah, Irish is in comic books. It's in around. You got to find it and dig for it. But St. Patrick's Day is super fun. In America, we just take St. Patrick's Day as a big party day, and I always have a huge blast, and I can't wait for tomorrow. I'm gonna go see a concert, The Big Woo, a band that I used to love when I was just out of high school, and they still play every once in a while. A couple shows from around here, and they're playing tomorrow night. So I'm gonna have a blast at that show. Love seeing live music, and love comic books. Anything else that you want to cover? Any good books that you've been reading lately?
Lock and Key, man. That's been just
Lock and Key. Oh yeah,
I had to bring those to you, man.
For sure.
But it's good stuff.
Yeah, Lock and Key. Yeah, I went on that cruise, so I picked up shit ton. I had $60 a week. Lock and Key is amazing, though. We've said it before, but I mean, I love Lock and Key.
It's suspender snapping, good.
But we have to talk about, I think we have to, because didn't I say a while ago we do image number ones?
Yes, we do.
Right? Image number ones. Well, Hello Molly, Saga number 1 finally came out. Nice. Brian K. Vaughan, Fiona Staples. They said they're going to make this a giant epic, longer than even Why the Last Man, longer than Ex Machina, and those are the last books that BKV wrote. He's been off. He's been writing Lost. Everybody loves that show. Comic fans even more. So we love Lost. And so this came out. Finally, it dropped, and it was phenomenal. I gave it a 5 stars out of 5, and just great work about this mother and father in a worlds of turmoil, and about this baby. And it seems to be this baby is going to be the main character in the book. And so you're kind of just learning about the mother and father at this time. I love that it's in a whole different world, but there's still like super cool dialogue, BKV dialogue. It was a great book. I love that he is not on the internet at all, and if you want to write to the letters, you have to write him an actual letter. He doesn't do emails or anything. So that was really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So everybody has to check Saga out. Go back to your comic shop and get it. Everybody always asks for what's going to be that next huge thing that that long ongoing series that everybody's going to talk about forever. What is going to be the next Preacher or Planetary or, Why the Last Man. These things that are finite and amazing, and like Sandman, Watchmen. Well, Saga is going to be one that is going to be very long, and it's going to be hopefully, the next one of those books. So if you want to know when to jump on board, this is now. Jump on board now. See if it's up your alley. It's super sci-fi. It's super even fantasy,
Nice.
but still very modern and cool dialogue. And then there was another new number one. Let me get to it. A lot of good books, though, when I was gone. Tons of good books. Ferris.
I love that. Oh.
I haven't read it yet, but that's cool. The
5 out of 5 for sure, man.
Nice. So
Clever.
say a little bit about it.
Clever. You got. I don't know. Like my favorite character in that one, they had like a blue. It looks like a genie, but it's actually not. He's like, you don't seem to understand. I can't grant you any wishes. Very cynical tale.
Totally.
It's basically like the King of Thieves and a lot of sneaking into the camp and a lot of bloodshed. It was. I don't know. It was just all over the board.
Awesome.
Typical Fables.
Good.
And I love it. I've been reading a lot of Fables. They got some back stock.
I know, that's what I heard. I saw that you posted that. That's awesome, man. Fables is awesome. I'm glad you're doing it. Now, obviously, you don't really have to buy anything because I have them all. So
okay.
if you ever need to borrow them, but you can go. I like you getting your collection up as well. And I can't wait to read that. Another number one is Manhattan Projects. This would have been from the week before when I was on that cruise. And Hickman's new book, and super excited again to see a Hickman book. At Image, new number one. Red Wing was the last one, the last miniseries. I wasn't as excited for that one as I had been because Hickman was kind of making me mad, but he's really pulled it together on Fantastic Four, and I should have just stuck with him the whole time. And so I haven't read it yet, but I'm really excited to get to it. You guys, come on! I just got back from a cruise. Give me a break. Another one I haven't read yet, but I'm super excited for is Saucer County number one, or Saucer Country number one. It's like this Mexican American is going to be running for president, and she has some run-ins with aliens or something. Paul Cornell, Ryan Kelly, not gonna say no to that. You may know Paul Cornell from all the great stuff that he does, Demon Knights, and the old Captain Britain. He had a great series. And I think Ryan Kelly, I think he did New York 4, or in New York 5, so check those out. That's the same artist. And then the other one that you just got to drop bombs on is series finale of Unwritten. $4.99 book, extra pages. You're like, you never knew how long this was going to go. They never said for sure. I know sales weren't the greatest, but I hope they didn't have a whole lot more to tell. It did seem like they did have to wrap it up very quickly, but I was just really excited that, boom, I get to mark it down. This is a series that I picked up from the first issue, which they sold for $1, and hooked me in, and I've gotten every single issue. Now it's 35, and that's the last issue, and it ended just beautifully and very subtly, and I liked it. I liked it a lot, and so that's a good ending, so people who are getting off Unwritten, look at all these other options you need to pick up now. And then also, people always ask, where should I start? 3 number ones right there in this last 2 weeks. Go find one of these. They're all going to be good books.
Or just grab an issue of Fables.
Yeah, totally. Or just go and grab the first 2 trades of Fables, because it does take about 3 trades before you're really hooked in Fables, which is kind of asking a lot, but worth it.
They're fun.
Yeah, I love them. Yeah. For sure. Anything else you need to talk about now, Johnny boy?
Nah, man. I'm just
St. Patrick's Day?
Get my learn on. Salute to Norman Osborn's supremacy. Getting his own month.
I can't believe.
I bet he has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I don't think he will either. I think it's gonna be just.
Do you think it's gonna be like a seriously good team with a dark edge to it?
I have no idea. I don't know. Jeff Parker is such a good writer that it's gonna be good, but I just think they have to change it from Thunderbolts because it's not selling as much.
Yeah. Well, I've told you why it's not selling so much.
Yeah, whatever.
The last 10 issues
have been awesome. I love these last 10 issues. They're just fun. They don't have anything to do with continuity. They're just just fun comic booking.
That's why.
Exactly. I
That's
know.
and that might be a valid thing for other fans too, though. I mean, maybe people are picking this book up because they're like me.
Nobody's like you.
I know.
Just kidding.
That's the truth. There can be only one, trust me.
Yeah, that's for sure. No, all right, guys. Well, thanks for sticking with us again. Hopefully you're watching this on InveterateMediaJunkies.com. That's our home. Check us out there. Comment. Tell us what you think. Tell us what Irish characters we missed. And if you want to hit us up with an email, a comicbooklook@gmail.com. Tell us, give us. We need ideas for shows always, so we always like those. If you have any specific questions you'd like to cover in the show, or if you just have any questions for us, hit us up also on Facebook, a comic book group, a comic book look, or a comic book group, Facebook group, a comic book look.
Yeah.
And thanks for watching. We'll see you in 7.
Definitely keep it comics.